There she goes. There goes my baby. There she goes. Watch her dance, make romance. There goes my baby. There she goes. She's so wild. She's so wild. She's so wild. She's so wild. Wishful thinking's got me blinded. Got me losing all control. I like all of you. I like the things you say, the things you do. Every day I wake up, watch you as you go. I don't need reminding, baby. I know you are mine. You are mine.
Hey,
Hi.
Molly.
How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, see you perfectly.
Okay, great. How are you doing?
I'm doing all great. Happy Friday, Molly.
You too.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Absolutely, we're very excited to have you. Super stoked to have you. We're big fans of you, and you're opening up our new season when this airs. So
Oh, cool.
we're kicking off the new season with a really talented guest, and we can't wait to
Aw.
introduce our audience, Molly.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But look, like your music is mesmerizing, Molly. Whether we're talking about Please Be Mine, First Flower, telling people play that with a glass of wine and like just feel the energy. And then this is Molly Burch, really powerful stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, Molly. So actually, we first heard rave about you from Elena Moore of Tennis.
Yeah.
She was on our show around May, and she raved about you. In fact, we were gonna see you guys in the Fonda Theater in LA.
Oh, that's so
And
sad.
fingers crossed that still happens, right?
Yes, yeah. I feel like we're determined to do it whenever we're able to, whenever it's safe.
For sure, for sure.
We're determined to do that, Bill. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, Molly, yeah, why don't you let's talk a little bit about everything. Thanks for your time.
Of course.
How this obviously year has been bananas for everybody. Take us a little bit about. Tell me a little bit about your February, March period, like as the world was unraveling. What were you doing, and how like that 3-week period where everything kind of exploded?
Yeah, I mean, well, we had just started the tour with Tennis. So we had done, the plan was, I think it was like the end of February, we did like Texas and Kansas City, New Mexico. We just had like a week and a half of touring. And then when we came back at the beginning of March, we were supposed to have just like a little break, play South by, and then go, the rest of the tour was like 2 more months. So yeah, that I feel like those first couple of weeks were definitely the scariest and just full of so much anxiety, so much uncertainty. Everything was canceled. I think I felt like a little bit like I felt blessed that I didn't have a huge like busy year, because it's supposed to be an off year for me anyways. I wasn't
really
releasing a new album. So but yeah, it was really scary, I think, and I felt so much for Elena and Pat, because it was their tour and they had so much to deal with that. But yeah, I think that the first couple of weeks and seeing just the entire world shut down, it's really scary. And I mean, it's still scary, but I think I just have been able, I think we're all just sort of getting used to this. We've let it, settle in, I guess.
Definitely.
Emotionally,
Definitely. I mean, you look like a Zoom pro at this point. You're like a PhD. You got the flow going. And that's been cool to see in people. The transformation. Oh man, that's awesome, Molly. So Molly, I want to talk to you a little bit about your early life for a second, because you don't necessarily come from a musical family. So how did Nina Simone and Billie Holiday kind of seep into your soul? How did you discover them?
I can't really remember how I discovered them, but yeah, I come from a really creative family. My whole family is in the film business.
Right.
My parents and my sister. So I think that was always just, around growing up, and my parents were really supportive of whatever we wanted to do, especially creatively. But yeah, I think I just stumbled upon music and vocalists when I was probably like in 6th grade or something, and in middle school. And I just was so drawn to female vocalists and singers, and like really unique voices like Billie Holiday and Nina Simone, of course.
Yeah.
And I also loved that's when like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and Mariah,
Right.
like everyone was like at the peak of pop. And then, so yeah, I just listened a lot. It took me a while. I mean, I still sang, but I would just like sing by myself to all these amazing vocalists.
That's incredible. But it's incredible that from an early age, you could, go against the grain and be like, okay, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That has its place. But this is another level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that you understood that. That's pretty cool, because that's not every kid. Yeah. And speaking of middle school and like high school and all that, is it true that your choir teacher failed you?
Yes.
Like, oh my God. When I was, when we were doing the research and we came across that, like, I think Please Forgive Me was playing.
Uh-huh.
And like, you're like soaring your vocals, and it's like, what is wrong with these educational people?
That's so funny. I feel bad. I'm not going to name her. But yeah, I think it was like, I was going through a little rebellion phase too. I was in choir, it was like 8th grade, and I was so insecure, and I finally like got up the courage to try out for a solo, and she didn't give it to me. So I was like, how dare you?
Yeah.
So I then
You know who you are.
So then I like boycott. I was like, well, if you're not going to give me the solo, I'm not going to be a part of the winter recital or something. I like boycotted it, and she was like, okay, then I'm going to fail you. And then I went, I don't know why I had such, I was just going through a phase of major rebellion. But then I went up to the dean of the students, and I complained, and I said, she just picks her favorites. She did. And then, yeah, it all ended up okay. I got a D-. So I passed.
You know what? Yeah. It worked out. It worked out for you. So glad to tell you, Molly. You said you were a little bit shy.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And that definitely brings me to your sister, because your sister was your one of your greatest champions, right? She's the one that kind of like encouraged you when you were kind of growing out of your shell.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. My sister, Sammy, she was like the only one that knew I liked to sing. So she would be constantly like pushing me and doing things I didn't want to do, like sing. Like if we were like having a family dinner party, she'd like encourage me to sing like a cappella. I would just cringe in embarrassment. But she just pushed me so much. And I think it was so helpful just so I could get out of my shell. But the first time I sang in front of an audience, it was because she cast me in her play. Like she was a senior in high school. So she wrote and directed a play, and she was like, you're going to sing in it. And I was like, no, but then I did. Yeah, she's always been, she's still one of the most like supportive people in my life, for sure.
That's amazing. Yeah. Thank you, Sammy, for encouraging it. The world appreciates it. One of my favorite stories about you, Molly, and it's your post-college story. And I know you've told it a few times, but it's very interesting because people, everyone has like a crossroads moments, and you had one yourself, and it's public, and it's cool to see how you handled it. Basically, you went to UNC Asheville, you graduated, and then you had to make a decision. You're like, okay, do I go to LA, kind of where you grew up? Correct me if I'm wrong, or Austin, which is where your family Texas blood is from. Why did you decide on Austin? And tell us a little bit about like the heartbreak that you were going through and how that moved into that.
Yeah, so I was in Asheville. I was dating Daly, who's my current boyfriend and bandmate. But yeah, I think I was like having a post-college like crisis, and I was living in Asheville for like the 4 years, and it's amazing, but it was really kind of small, so I didn't feel like I could grow as an artist at the time. And so yeah, I think because I was so used to living in a small community, I think even though I'm from LA, like the idea of moving back to LA intimidated me.
Yeah.
And I had so much, I have family in Texas, and I knew Austin was a music city, but I also met a boy that lived in Austin. So I moved to Austin, but I only knew him. So it was definitely not an easy transition. But yeah, that was a big catalyst.
Yeah. So when you say it wasn't a big transition, like, let me just kind of dig in there a little bit. You know, now we're on the other side of the rainbow. Obviously, you're like one of the most influential up and comers in Austin. So yeah, but you weren't always there. So how was that transition when you didn't know a lot of people? You didn't kind of know where to start, who to call. Was that rough?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it took a while. I feel like it took like 2 years probably to just really get my footing and find people to play with, and and especially when I first moved there, I only knew my new boyfriend, and I was like, I picked up like babysitting jobs, so I wasn't really meeting anyone naturally. So, but that was, you know, the time that I was really writing songs for the first time, and wrote like all the songs, or most of the songs on Please Be Mine, my first album. So it was definitely a really important time. And then after a year, I got back together with Daly, who I broke up with in North Carolina, and he moved out to Austin. And then that's when we started really playing together and recording the first album. So
That's interesting, Molly. So yeah, you went through a rough patch. I was listening to Brandy Carlisle the other day, the Americana singer. She was talking to Yola, another singer, and they were saying that there's this misconception among artists that it's romantic when you're having a hard time, that it's like the creativity just pours out of you. It's like, oh, I'm in the gutter, I'm broke, I am like that. When you're in your lowest, like the best ideas come. They were saying that they do come out of that, but like post after. So like I wanted your take on that. Like when you were in your rough periods, were you like a creative writing machine, or was it tough, and then after, like the memories?
I feel for Please Be Mine, it was definitely like during, because I was still dealing with this breakup, and then like starting this new relationship and going through this big change. But I feel like I look back on that time really fondly, even though I was quite lonely and like super lost. But it was just, you know, it was the first time I really like started writing songs. And so I just look back on it like it was like a really organic time.
Nice.
And I don't really feel, I definitely write a lot differently now. So I feel like that time was kind of the only time where I was like really going through something and writing about it, if that makes sense. Like, absolutely. And then it really like formed what my first album was like. Yeah.
Nice. It just seems like you were so mature, like, you know, like, okay, this is part of the process, like you're supposed to, you know, it's like that's great. And finding your band, Molly, you mentioned like finding a band was hard. You eventually, you know, your first shows with Daly Tolliver, how were those like, and auditioning people, how's that process?
It's been such a journey. I mean, now I don't have exactly a set band besides Daly, and my drummer Tom has been really constant the past couple years. But I do like to change it up just because, except them, because it really is, you know, my music, and I think it's just easier to have that, have it to be more fluid. I started out with like a set band, and it just brought so much drama. And so yeah, that was a big learning process as, you know, a singer-songwriter, band leader, how to navigate like, you know, do I have a set band? Am I, you know, is this an
Right.
equal like thing or no? Is it, it's probably better to like hire individual people. But yeah, it definitely took a little bit, but the first formation who recorded on the record, that was like a really organic little foursome, like, because it was just like my friends and my roommate and Daly, and
Yeah.
So,
I can't imagine. It must be like a relationship having a band, right? Like all these elements. You spend so much time with them.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it has to do with a lot of like trust and yeah, but I feel like I'm in a really good place where I feel I have, you know, two pretty constant and solid guys, and then we just switch it up. And
I like it.
It's also nice for us too to like, I don't know, switch it up and have different experiences with different people and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. You're like a set dessert, and then you play around with a little extra cream, maybe this tour, maybe that one, a little extra Nutella, but the elements are there. I got you. Awesome. I love it. I love it, Molly. All right, let's talk about a few of your songs, if you don't mind. Please Be Mine, your album, and which I love Wrong for You, for example.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, what a phenomenal track, Molly. Laurel Canyon vibes, you know, with melodies I think we can all relate to. It's really cool stuff. And a unique composition. I love it. I love and the lyrics kind of like we're talking about all this kind of complement it, I feel like. How is the creative process to create this, like a song like this that is so, it's unique. It's unique that it's just like an interesting flow.
Thanks. God, it's just been like so long, even though I guess it's only been 4 years, but
I know. March pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was like fun. Well, that was, so I had after I signed to my label, Captured Tracks, I had added 3 songs to the record, and that was one of them. So I think at the time I was just really trying to experiment with writing a more upbeat song, because basically the album that I sent them was just all like lush ballads, basically nothing was, and you know, so I think I was trying to add some like single potential, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, I do, like, I feel like that's one of the songs that I still really enjoy playing live, when that was a thing. Like, I think like that one has evolved and I really do like it. Yeah, that's one of the ones from Please Be Mine that we picked from, and there's not that many that we still play, but yeah. I don't know.
Why is that, Molly? Is it because you know? Yeah, that's interesting, because it's a great album, but yeah, it's, you know, for yourself, do you just not relate to those songs anymore? And if you don't relate, you can't perform them, kind of thing? Is it?
I think, yeah, I mean, I think some of them have had a new life of their own with touring so much. Like, we still always play Please Be Mine. It's just fun. I think, especially for people that have listened to my music or like know that album, I think it's fun to play Wrong for You and Please Be Mine and Downhearted. But yeah, I think it's just a fun song to play. Like, singing it feels really
sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, I can imagine. Like, and your songs are so personal that, yeah, like I can imagine it's like it's putting yourself out there. So if you don't feel, I got you. Yeah. So First Flower, you know, I want to talk about Wild. Pretty cool song. It's powerful, I think, in its simplicity, right? But I wanted to ask you about the video. It's such a nice video, and it looks like you had such a good time filming it. Do you like music videos, Molly? Like, what was the experience doing this video?
I love music videos. Yeah, that was fun. I had reached out to Luca Venter, who does all of Tennis's music videos, actually. Right. So that was before I knew Elena and Pat. I just was like, he's amazing. I love him. And that was really fun. I had sent him the song, and he just came up with this whole concept, and he referenced one of my favorite movies, this movie called Smile that was in the 70s about beauty pageants. And I was like, I love it. Like, let's do it. So that was all him, but it was really fun. Very glam. Very nice. Yeah, the visuals are spectacular. Yeah, it really is. He does all of Tennis's visuals and stuff. It's amazing. Yeah, he's really good. New York-based guy. Yeah. For sure, Molly. All right, and let's. You've been so generous with your time. Let me ask a couple more questions. Sure. Your covers, I love them. You're so good at covers. Like, where do you want me to start? Like,
I mean, you've done Ariana Grande's "Needy," for
Mhm.
example. You've done it live.
Yeah.
But recently, like this week, I think you did Billie Eilish.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yesterday I posted that.
yeah, exactly. And see, there you
Mhm.
go. And you do such a good job of them because
Thank you.
you don't just copy paste. You take the soul and then you put the Molly Birch spin, and it's
Thank
amazing. It's
you.
amazing. Yeah.
Thank
So
you so
wanted
much.
to ask, yeah, for sure. What's the key to getting like the soul like of covers and
Mhm.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the Needy came about because it was like the last big like US tour of the First Flower album cycle. And it was last August. And I just wanted to add something fun and new. And I love Ariana Grande. I love pop music. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to like dip my toes into that and see how, my audience would react to that. And it was super fun. And I felt like, so yeah, so I definitely wanted to like record it and put it out there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there are some songs that I just was drawn to that because one, I think it's a really unique song. And it's really fun to sing. I had to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I just love pop music, and I love, yeah, same with the Billie Eilish song. I mean, that was a little more casual, but it's just a great song, and I wanted to sing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Mhm.
And you're such a cool chick, Molly. And you mentioned you like pop. And there's been some
Mhm.
good pop this year, right? Like Dua Lipa,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
there's been some good stuff. So
Yeah.
why don't you're the coolest chick, one of the coolest you've interviewed. Why don't you give the people what's on your playlist? What's on your recently played pop
Mhm.
pandemic playlist
I
for
mean,
Molly
Dua
Burch?
Lipa, a lot of Dua Lipa. I've been
She's great,
listening.
yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Mhm.
Um, what new pop has come out? I loved Ariana Grande's song with Justin Bieber. I kind of like some of the songs on Justin Bieber's new album.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, honestly, I've been listening to like a ton of Dua Lipa albums.
There you
Like
go.
huge fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
All right.
Let's say
Cool.
that. Yeah.
So just, Dua Lipa.
A lot of Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa,
Yeah.
I found your co-headliner for the next tour.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, Molly, you've been so generous with your time. Last question. Let me ask you about the Christmas album. The Christmas
Yeah.
album. Yes, I knew I was forgetting a big one. Loved it.
Sure.
How
Thank
did I
you.
almost? I'm such a Christmas guy too. I'm
Oh,
like, listen,
good.
you keep your Halloween, you do your thing. I mean, just yesterday I was watching the hottest costume season thing. Is a Karen mask. A Karen
Oh
mask.
gosh.
I know, yeah, exactly. And I'm like, that's just never been my thing.
Yeah.
So, but I loved your album. What is it about Christmas to you, Molly, that caused you to, you know what, I'm gonna get on the Christmas train? I love it.
Oh man, it's just so fun. It was really fun to make. I think it was like all of 2019 basically was dedicated to, like, I was still touring, but I was really focused on that record, and I just thought it would be really fun and kind of
Nice.
bold to like put out full length as my third record. I just, you don't know. And it was like, it gave me a new perspective on how to record. We recorded it differently, and I feel like it really inspired me so much vocally, and just something about doing covers, you come outside of yourself a little bit. So
Yeah.
I feel like it really prepared me in a great way to write my next album and work on
Makes
new
sense.
music. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. No, seriously, I want to tell my audience, besides listening to your albums, now that we're in October almost,
Oh yeah.
almost
Uh-huh.
Christmas,
It's
when you're
almost Christmas.
when you're at
Coming back.
when you're at grandma's watching Hallmark movies,
Yeah.
just be like, listen, Alexa, play Molly Burch's Christmas album.
Yeah.
Just do that. Just do that.
Definitely.
Everyone will be happy. I'm telling you guys.
Thank you.
Of course, Molly. Well,
Yeah.
listen, you've said it all. You've been so generous with your time.
Thank you.
What's the rest of your year look like for you? Like, are you baking bread? Are you making puzzles? Are you recording? What's going on?
Definitely working on new music. I have been recording, and sort of just gearing up for that. And also Christmas is coming, and we're gonna so my Christmas album's gonna be repressed, and yeah, yeah, Christmas stuff, but mostly just hunkering down and staying home with Daly and our cat, and
Cool.
yeah, and voting for Joe Biden. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Vote. Don't forget to vote, everyone. For sure, Molly. Well, listen, fingers crossed that we get to see you perform in April at the Fonda Theater shows, which is like toss-up, 50-50, just fingers crossed. But listen, all the best to you. We had a great talk. You're an amazing artist, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much.
Of course, Molly.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
having me.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.